we've always been on 4-day cumulative weight in 5-fish events, and so I was telling Jordan, Lee, and Jacob Wheeler the other day, talking to them on the phone, like, I enjoy 4-day cumulative weights, but I'm not going to say that the way we're going to do it next year isn't the right way to make it the most exciting, because we're going to have one cut in the middle of the tournament. So it'll be 2 days cut, and then your final 2 days, and the weights are going to be so tight, dude. The camera guys and equipment and all that stuff adds up. So
it also gives you double the drama too.
Yeah, it does give you double the drama too.
2 groups competing and stuff.
The second day, we all know the first day is kind of boring. Like, none of us want to watch, but I get fired up when I get to watch people get cut.
The funny thing about the 2-group thing is, with him in particular, like, I think back to Cayuga, man, and I had a great practice at Cayuga. Didn't catch any fish, but I shook off a bunch of them, and I knew like I was on some giant smallmouth. And I was graphing around out there in practice, and I seen old Lucas graphing around the same areas I'm graphing around, and I'm like, dadgummit, man. Like, and I didn't say nothing to him. We didn't bother each other. But I'm like, gosh dang, man, freaking dude, he's finding the same stuff I'm finding, man. And knowing like he's really good at drop shot, finesse fishing, and all that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, man. And
I was just throwing him a little curveball.
He's in Group A, and I'm in Group B. So obviously, like, I can't watch what he's doing, but I can watch the score tracker on my off day. And
yeah, we're not allowed to watch what's going on.
But we can watch the score tracker, so I'm watching the score tracker just blow up, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, he's catching all my fish.
I had like 35 fish for 127 pounds. This dude thought I caught every one of his.
Like, yeah, because
not one of them was his.
They're doing 2 for 1 right now.
You can ask Kevin, man, because I was staying with him, and I'm like the whole time going, oh man, I had a terrible day. I sat in the house all day just moping around.
It is crazy though, because like when you think you know what someone's doing,
that's not. Yeah.
You don't know what they're doing.
Yes, yeah. But the funny thing that was is that he wasn't doing it. He was, but Dustin Connell was.
Yeah.
So Dustin was in the other group who inevitably ended up winning the event, and we didn't know we were sharing water until the last day. Whenever we both showed up at the first spot, and we're like, oh, that's why this has been. Yeah, that's why.
Did you guys see the big? How big was that small?
710.
710.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing
that's
is huge.
That's huge.
What do y'all like to do just to mess with your buddies out there? Like, you know how those guys out there, you're messing with somebody on the water.
There ain't too much.
Not too much, dude. I mean, we're honestly, like, like off the water maybe and stuff. But man, like we're all running our own business and stuff. We all have a great time and stuff, man. But it's like, him and I will talk a little bit maybe if like we see each other. Like I remember we talked at St. Lawrence. We were like, man, is it really that tough? And I thought I was like, yeah, it's really that tough. But I mean, it's pretty much, dude. We don't have it 2 days of practice, and some of these places are so big. We don't have a lot of time to. It's all business. Because those guys are so good, I learned that really quick. If you're not on your A game, they're about to bring it to you. And so you better be all in and focused.
Yeah, there's not much messing around, like, because you don't want to. I don't know. Everybody is pretty serious, like when they're, but
in
on
a
an
good
off
way,
day,
though. Like in a good way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, on an off day though, like we'll go golfing and talk smack or something,
That's where the trash talking gets.
Yeah.
You get old Bobby Lane and Chris Lane on a golf course.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to lose a lot of money, and somebody's going to
you
make
better
some
be
money.
used to gambling and have a Venmo account set up, have extra cash backup, and be able to talk smack.
So those are the days that are fun to be around and laugh.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And out of 80 dudes, probably 78 are really cool and could do that. And there might be 2, and I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'll get in trouble.
I will say, like, being a rookie on tour, I really didn't know how, like, I mean, let's just be honest about it. I didn't know how I was going to be, like, receptive in a way. Like, I've looked up to all these guys, him, Kevin, all these guys my whole life, growing up, whenever I was his age. Like, Kevin was in his prime and stuff, and he still is, but I don't think it'll ever end. But it's like, I didn't know how I was going to be receptive being a rookie, really being one of the first rookies, or the first rookie on tour, because it's the first class that they've moved guys up. But that whole 80, or I guess 76 of them, aside from a couple rookies, were so receptive and like super nice. And I mean, it's a really good group of guys, really good. And helpful. Like, Kevin told me the stuff that he was telling me. I'm like, man, like this is the juice. But he's also like confident enough to say, like, I'll tell you what I'm doing because I'm still going to beat you doing it.
Yeah.
And he can say that too.
Is that a thing though? Like I've heard other guys say this. The guys that are going to win, they'll tell you what they're doing, and they're just going to
using this or no?
No,
you can hear us fine.
Yeah,
everybody can hear us good. All right, cool.
But the guys that are going to win typically will tell you what they're doing, and they just have the confidence they're going to do it better than you are, And then the guy that you ask him, he's like, that's usually not the guy you need to worry about. Is there any truth to that?
Somewhat.
I don't think our dudes lie. Like, I don't think anybody's just going to straight up lie, you know, because your reputation is going to get, you know, you're either going to lose all your buddies or whatever. So everybody just kind of doesn't tell the whole truth, you know.
It's one of the things too. Like I think at that level, you do it enough, you're around that much. Like there's an etiquette as to questions you
that's
ask,
a great point.
right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna ask you where you're fishing, man. Like whether it's part of the rules or not. Like I'm not gonna ask you like the details of your pattern. Like I want to know maybe like if him and I talk, hey man, you getting some bites?
Yeah.
You know, like are they biting? Like I want to know if I'm totally missing the boat. Like, that's some very useful information. I don't want to know like what you're catching them on and where you're catching them and how you're catching them necessarily, because that's going to mess up my game plan, like and like what I've got going on in my head. And I think that a lot of
you can't ever go duplicated.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, they're doing their own thing. They're not worried about, you know, Clark Green might be smoking them, you know, but like that's great. But like I can't go do that.
Yeah.
You know, so like I can't go do what he's doing, and it's just you got to do your own thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
But, I mean,
you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree?
He agrees.
He knows what's up.
Yep.
What's up, Clark?
On TikTok Live.
Oh, we're on TikTok.
TikTok Live.
Yeah, y'all gonna dance?
We're not
Just
saying.
kidding.
No, we don't have any TikTok dances.
Yeah, if you don't dance, it's not a TikTok. Right? You gotta dance. You
Are
gotta
y'all
dance.
looking forward to going back to North Louisiana, Caney, Bussy Break?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
Y'all make it each of those?
You make it, heavy hitters, you in? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
What's gonna be different this year about last year?
Yeah.
Postpone.
A little bit later.
Yeah.
No, that'd be
Or spawn. Right?
Y'all don't have to go to Dartmouth either.
End of April.
But you know that was actually probably good. Like we hit that, like it was a Louisiana blizzard, man. Like we hit Dartmouth at a bad time. I really think, and then even talking to some people after the event, it's actually probably a pretty good lake. You know, I mean, there were some big ones in it. But,
I think most of the guys said they want. I would like to go back.
Yeah,
Just
I would
not
like
in
going back.
February.
Yeah, just not in the middle of the blizzard. Yeah.
March or April.
But Caney should be really good, and I didn't get to go to either one of them because I didn't make it past the qualifying round. So I'm excited to get a chance at Caney and catch some big ones.
I think it's gonna be good. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to that event the most, but I think it might be the most fun event we have.
There's not one event that I'm not looking
I mean, we got some good ones. I mean, really.
Okay.
Cherokee and Douglas might be the toughest that we have, but other than that, I think the weights are going to be really good.
What about Murray?
Murray's going to be legit. Gunnersville's going to be legit. Cayuga, they're saying, is going to be insane.
Topic for you guys on this light 5 fish limit. You've gone to that. How's it going to affect this tournament and give us some sleepers for Angler of the Year? Since you don't pick yourselves, going to the 5 fish limit, because you know that the dynamics change, right?
I mean, I don't know.
I think it's all the same, man. Like, I didn't approach, other than the first event where I got my butt kicked, I didn't approach a single Bass Pro Tour event with any kind of different mentality than I did any of the Pro Circuit events last year, or Toyota Series events, or even a BFL that I fished. Like, you just got to go fishing, and the format is what it is. You either figure it out, you get in tune with the lake and the current conditions, and you do well, or you don't. Like, I mean, 5 fish or every fish counts. Like, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. And really, even in our every fish counts deal, there wasn't anywhere we went last year where you could catch little ones and really do well. Like, you had to catch good quality fish. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that different, honestly. I think you're going to see a lot of the same.
Yeah, I think with the 2-pound minimum, people didn't realize how tough that
Yeah, that
it
changed.
actually is to go out there and just.
Yeah.
You can't just catch 2 2s and 2 3s and whatever.
Not all day. Like there's a
it
lot
doesn't-
of fish that don't weigh 2 pounds that you catch that you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like there's more like, if you're just trying to target 2s, there's probably more 1s hanging out with them, you know, than there is 2s, and you just get bummed because you set the hook on another.
A lot of 114s out there.
A lot of them.
114.
A lot of
dude.
114s.
There's a
And
few
if
on
you're
4.
targeting those, I don't
How
think
about
you're in the right-
115s?
You're not really in the right mindset anyway.
I agree.
You know, you're not. If you're looking for 2-pounders, you're not shooting. I mean, I don't know. I just think you're in the right.
Do y'all follow the fantasy fishing? How many people are picking y'all in each
No,
tournament?
man, I don't keep
See all that kind of stuff.
No. You play it?
Oh yeah.
You like it?
I love it.
Really?
That's good. And the problem is I don't ever know with guessing the weight. I can't ever find out what the size fish we're going to count on the last day.
yeah.
So I'm just throwing out a random weight every time. But yeah, no, I love it. I'm into fantasy fishing.
You like it?
Yeah.
Anybody else play?
Y'all ever get people come up to y'all and say, "Man, thanks for screwing up my fantasy team"?
Oh yeah. most of those people will leave a comment, and then the ones that are excited and thankful, they'll come talk to you and say thank you. But everybody else will just leave a comment on Facebook like, "You let me down," or.
All right. Along with fantasy fishing, what event on the schedule do they need to pick Justin Lucas? And what event do they need to pick Dakota Ebarre to give them an advantage? Right off the top of your head, one event. You need to make sure that you're on their team.
I'd pick him for Saginaw Bay. It's gonna be like a smallmouth tough grinder deal, big water.
Be fun. I'm excited about that one.
Deal.
Let me think. Where are we going again? I'm gonna. The dude made like every. He made a top 10 in like the last 6 events, and it didn't matter if it was tidal water or smallmouth fishing. So I'll just throw Douglas and Cherokee out there. I think he's gonna do well on that.
How about that one? I hope so, because that's the one I'm most worried
Mark
about.
Mark that, and then save that little clip.
Jinxes me in the top
And then go back. After he wins, dude, he'll come back here next year with the trophy from Douglas Cherokee and set it right there.
I owe this one for Justin.
All right. Jagger 952. What is their favorite color for worm?
For worm, green pumpkin.
I don't really pay a lot of attention to the color, but yeah, probably just green pumpkin.
Dude, black and blue with green pumpkin.
Yeah, those are 2 great ones.
That's all you need.
Anything else?
That's all you need. If he can tell the difference between green flake and red flake or purple flake, he's too smart for me. I want to find a dumb one.
I know all my buddies are like, they're all, several guys I know, love this tilapia color.
Tilapia magic.
Oh,
man.
dude,
I've gotten so many pictures. Dude, you got to check out this new tilapia magic. Looks like the rest of them to me.
In our mind, green pumpkin's probably going to catch them.
Yeah.
But
because,
we know how it is. We don't
have enough time in a 2-day practice period to be trying to decipher whether or not green pumpkin gold or tilapia magic is going to be the key. Like, it's more about figuring out, finding fish that want to bite no matter what it is. Like, I mean, it's just, you don't have the time and to do that.
I agree.
I don't have the mental capacity to do that.
So would you say that bait selection, when you're traveling, especially going to a new lake, it's more about what you can fish effectively in that cover that's in front of you?
Profile, which you can fish effectively, and matching whatever you feel like they're feeding on at that point in time. And which profile is what that is. So yeah.
So like a chatterbait versus a rattle trap or a square bill, it's really just about what goes best in that cover in front of you.
Exactly, and it's a confidence thing, man. Like if you like that purple skirt, or that purple little skirt, bit of skirt in that black and blue jig, then throw the black, blue, and purple if that's what you like. Because I mean,
that's blurple, man.
That's what you got.
That's blurple. That's my deal, man. That's blurple.
Yeah. Know that, because that's what you got confidence in, and at the end of the day, you're going to present that bait better, and you're probably going to get more opportunities with something that you're confident in throwing. Whereas if you're winging something around, you know, in your mind they ain't going to bite, you ain't going to fish it effectively. So that's.
Yeah, I'm with you. All confidence and momentum.
Big Coffee 22 says he knows you.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he
What's
didn't
up,
say his
bro?
real name.
Okay.
What's your go-to lure of choice around heavy grass?
Ooh, heavy grass?
Like Florida grass.
Florida grass, I don't know. Maybe a swim jig or punch rod.
What about East Texas grass? That applies more to these people.
Well, I caught him at Rayburn in some grass on a swim bait, on a jig head. So, and I like doing that at Gunnersville, so I'll say that.
Okay.
That's an East Texas man right there.
Rage bug, dude. You can't beat it.
Rage bug. Flipping it, punching it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no matter where you, I mean, yeah, anything, back of a jig, whatever. But yeah, flipping that thing, dude, they'll eat that thing.
Top water.
Top water?
Buzz it on the surface.
Yeah, buzz it on the surface. Put it up on my buzz bait, dude. It works.
Everything. There you go.
Need one bait.
All right, what's the sleeper bait going to be this year? Hot bait on tour. If somebody needs to go buy a bait right now before it gets
I got to answer,
scarce.
I'm not going to say that. Really? You know what it is. I'm not saying it.
I do? Oh.
Wide bait?
That's a good guess. Yes. Close.
5 fish. Ain't going to catch much of them.
Swim baits.
I think swim baits are going to be a player.
The big swim bait.
6 inches in a boat. Yeah. 6 to 8.
You only got to catch 5.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully nobody's BPT's watching.
Like they're going to care what we have to say on TikTok.
You know,
Jay Lee might be on it.
Yeah.
Being able to watch the score tracker and know where you stand that allows you to, like, it takes some guts to go throw a big swim bait all day long when you don't know what other people have and you've only got 2 of them at noon. But if you got 2 at noon for 12 pounds and you can see that everybody else ain't far ahead of you or isn't really even ahead of you, and you can keep throwing it.
I think that's like the coolest thing ever. Like, this is what I started picturing in my mind when they said we're going to 5 fish. I'm like, dude, I want to be the guy that picks up a swim bait with like 10 minutes to go, and the guy in first can't call up, and you catch that big one to
ruin his day.
That's the beauty
and then go and watch this boat official tell him. Yeah. That's what I want.
There's going to be more last minute changes.
There will be. I mean, because it'll be finer adjustments. Like we were saying earlier, I mean, a guy can catch 120 pounds, like, or, you know, whatever ungodly number you caught at Sturgeon Bay, and like, but you wouldn't have been able to have that gap if it would have been 5 fish. Like, you probably still would have won the event.
Still got big ones.
You still caught big ones. You still would have won, but it wouldn't have been by the margin that you
Correct.
Those smallmouth tournaments are going to be real splitting hairs at that point.
They're going to be close, super close.
How big of a player do you think a frog is going to be on this scale with 5 fish? There's some guys that have gone under the radar that are froggers and flippers, heavy cover guys.
I mean, Todd Faircloth, you know, Cliff, all them guys. I mean, they could definitely be big time players. I mean, they're great fishermen, and I think that it's going to make a guy like that more comfortable. You know, now. What you got, buddy?
What have been some of your favorite past events? You know, some of your favorite tournaments.
My favorite one ever was the one I won in California. It was the first tournament I won as a pro, and I won it at home, literally running down the river, watching where I used to ride on a school bus to school. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that must have been great. What about you?
Mine was probably like Lake Fork last year. Man, I had so much fun there. That was the first time I'd ever been to Fork. So, or besides when I went to Free Fish, and I had a lot of fun there.
And he made 42 grand. So,
but I also
there's that part too. That was pretty.
So, but I'll say this to you. Asking that question, I remember watching him whenever you won at the river there. You catch him on that bridge or whatever, like the
pilings?
Yeah, the pilings or whatever. I remember watching him. That's one of my favorite events. So I think back watching, like, I remember like being like in high school or everything, and like, I want to do that. I want to do that, man. Now here I am sitting beside him. So that's really cool to be able to, like, you know, think back on that stuff.
What did it feel like in those last couple minutes there at Lake Fork? Because you were close behind it all.
Dude, that was
and you were all. It looked like y'all were all like scoping, looking for the cast, weren't you? Describe that day.
It was unbelievable, man. I mean, this wasn't meant to be. It was his time, and he's earned it. He's a great angler, and you know, that was his time, and I'm, you know, that's awesome for him. And I was thankful for the event that I had. But with that being said, like, man, I mean, it seemed like everything went right the whole event. I don't think I lost like a fish the entire time on a jerkbait, and all that temper that I like looked and had coming to me that would have made a difference in the event. So everything went right for me. It was just in that last like 40 minutes of competition after I took the lead. Like, it's like all of a sudden every single bass in the lake just disappeared. It was crazy.
That's close, man. 2 ounces. That's close.
2 ounces on a lake where any fish can be.
Dude, after all that, right?
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
how many 10-pounders y'all catch in that tournament as a group? 6 or something?
Yeah,
5?
you know better than us.
I had
I think it was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I only had one like real giant. I lost it, but it was on the first day or second day, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Like, it wasn't serious. It was gone. And
I know. I caught one in practice. It was almost 10, and it was like the first or second fish I caught in practice. So every time I set the hook after that, dude, I'm like expecting it again, and I never got it. I think I said.
What have been some of your favorite baits?
Man, I like whatever they'll bite. Like, I really don't have a preference. Like, but I will say this, I mean, I really enjoy throwing a jerkbait. It's a lot of fun. I remember at Fork, like, on that last day, this fish didn't bite, but I have looked at enough fish that I can tell you, I mean, that's probably a 6 or 7 pounder. And I remember watching this one fish, and it was like, I love to deer hunt, and to me, it was like a 180-inch deer was standing in front of me, and I'm like shaking with buck fever, like, and it was this bass that swam out from this tree, and I'm looking at her, and I know she's at least 10 plus, maybe. I don't know how big she is.
Yeah, like
huge. Looks like a whale down there, and she's like nose up to my jerkbait, and I'm just like watching her, and I got like the biggest case of buck fever, like ever. Like my knees were shaking. I'm like, oh my god, please bite, please bite.
Kind of like when I got my first steer a few years
Exactly,
ago.
dude. I had that exact same feeling, but I was fishing, and I was watching that fish about to bite my bait, and she didn't. But it was really exciting, and so for that, I like to throw a jerkbait.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. What about you?
I'd say a max set flatworm.
Of course.
Also a good one.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's a good one too.
I'm not gonna say anything about that, but it's okay.
How many pros do you think honestly are throwing that bait on a smallmouth event that are saying they're throwing something?
I don't really know. I just know that they were asking me for them like they were drug addicts like for a couple of years when they couldn't get them.
Yeah, you couldn't get them.
I literally had guys coming up to me like, dude, I don't even care what color. Just give me a color, bro. Just one pack, any color. Come on. I'm like,
and look, people were asking me if we're going to BPT events if I had a stash of them. I had a bunch of 1 point bootleg them.
I remember you trying to like cut up a hitworm and make them.
Dude, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, but you couldn't find hitworms. You couldn't find any of the max sets.
There's like 2 baits you need for smallmouth fishing.
I know the other one he's going to say. It's one of ours and one of theirs.
Z2, baby Z2.
When you throw one over the other?
If you're around gobies, if you're around shad, it's baby Z2. Cayuga, I really did catch a 710 on baby Z2. Every fish I caught at Cayuga was on a baby Z2, just about, I think.
What did Costco catch, Mark?
Champlain, definitely. All of them were on baby Z2. And I want to say he was on a baby Z2.
Really?
All right, I'm sure y'all have been asked this question a lot, okay? People want to know, you're probably going to ask this show a lot. What's your opinion on active target and live scope?
Oh.
You get tired of that one, don't you?
I mean, if you've never done it, I can see where it's annoying. But if you've done it, it's really fun. And when you get on a bite with it, it's really fun. So, I don't know. It's one of those things, like, I think once you do it one time, you don't hate on it anymore.
I use it as a learning tool, man. Like every day when I put my boat in the water, like I'm using it like as if I'm putting my head underneath the water with goggles, and I'm learning all of that stuff. Now, what I will say that, and this gentleman had the conversation earlier too about it, is that guys caught 30 pounds. 30 pounds wins on Rayburn, man. When you catch 30 on Rayburn, you got a good chance. You might get your butt kicked.
Unless you're Casey Burley.
Yeah.
He got beat with the dude with 49 pounds.
Yeah, really. So, but I would say that you're going to top 3 the event. You catch 30, you're going to be in the top 3, right? People did that for years without live scoping. If you go catch 30 today at Rayburn in that Brandon Belt tournament, you're going to be way up there. You're probably going to win. You don't have to have live scope to do that. People did it forever, you know, so if people are letting it mentally affect them and change the way they fish. If you don't want to use it, don't use it, but that don't mean you still can't catch them to compete. Now, is it a smart idea if you're doing it for a living? No, probably not. But I mean, you can. John Cox does it.
Yeah, he makes pretty good living.
Makes pretty good living. Makes pretty good living. There's
living.
Plenty of guys that are still pretty defiant on using it and still do really well. If you let it affect you mentally, that you don't have it, and you start doing stuff differently, then yeah. If not, like
Bobby Lane won the Red Crest without it.
Fishing, how stressful do y'all feel that y'all have when you're at, say, within the next hour of the tournament and it's about to end? Is this as stressful as, you know?
I think we probably feel like that's the best, most exciting part, because that's what you live for, is to thrive in those conditions, you know, like I just don't want to fold and suck for the last hour. You know?
It is stressful, man. I mean, it is stressful, but again, it's like, man.
If you catch them, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling.
Yeah.
5 fish, though, you're not out of it now.
So what would be the best way to get over the anxiety that you're bringing across?
That's the key, is using it in the right way, like not going, oh man, like, you know, so and so just caught another one, like, and letting it discourage you. Like, it should encourage you to know, oh, they're biting, let me go catch another one. You know, like, you've got to mentally use it in the right way, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, it's a very useful tool if you keep a positive mindset and use it in that way. And you can easily let it eat you up and make you crash and burn. But on the flip side, somebody's out there using it to their advantage, and they're the guys that finish well in those events. You know,
I would agree.
I'll say that like at Lake of the Ozarks, I missed a cut by like an ounce or two there, and I mean, like I probably caught 20 in the last 5 minutes, and every one of them was this big, and all I needed was a couple ounces, and that was the most frustrating thing in the world. But it motivated me to keep casting and keep, because I knew I was right there at it. Now, was it stressful? Yes, but I knew that I was really close, and so like stressful, yeah, but motivating as well, you know.
Question on baits. Does prototype make a difference with y'all? I mean, do you rely on them a lot?
Prototype?
Yeah.
Like new baits?
Yeah, your bait compared to something that's not on the market yet. Does that help y'all out more so?
I'm just now getting to the point where people are sending me baits like that, so I haven't had a lot of opportunities to use baits that maybe nobody else have had. I mean, I've been buying them from Tackle Warehouse just like everybody else here at Fun and Sun or Tackle Attic or Dry Lakes or whatever. I mean, he could probably touch on that a little more.
It helped a little bit with max scent for sure, but other than that, most of the time, tournaments are won on baits that are already out. You know, for the most part, I would say 99% of the time, probably.
Unless you're like Paul Ice back in the day with A-Rig.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be an example. Every once in a while, I guess, you know, if you look at it historically, like something will come out that's new that changes the game.
Thrift had that run on the chatterbait in Florida back in the day. He won everything.
04, 03,
The flopper was probably there was probably a little time for that. Nobody really had the chop over the flopper.
Yeah.
A-Rig obviously was a big enough deal to where nobody they outlawed it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So as far as when you have your sponsors, are you only allowed to fish with the sponsors provide, or you can fish?
Turn the camera off, Clark.
No, that's not the case. I mean, there's a lot of good baits that all these companies make, and the camera's rolling. I don't mind, so I'll say it or whatever. Like, it's our job to be professionals, right? And we work with these companies,
Right.
So we have to maintain that professionalism.
Exactly.
Will I use another bait other than the companies that I work with at some point in time? Every single angler out there will. But it's my job to be a professional about it. I'm not going to lie to you about what I'm catching them on, but I'm also going to be smart about it, and I'm going to, you know, if I get an opportunity to promote, you know, the baits I'm going to use them whenever I can. I'm also, and also in turn, and he's probably the same way, I mean, Berkeley and Strike King make great products. We can use almost, I mean, I waited for a long time to get the opportunity to work with Strike King because I believe in their products. And I can legitimately use their products in almost any circumstance that I'm going to come in this year. There will be times, and he could do the same with Berkeley, there will be times where we may use something else that is just totally off the wall, like a big live bait or something. It is what, you know, but I'm not gonna like, I mean, I'm gonna do that in a professional way. That's
Contractually, a lot of times you can't. You know, contractually, sometimes they say you can't because at this point now, everything's live on camera. So if you're seen throwing something, a lot of times there can be hiccups on there.
You need to get a better negotiator under contract.
Yeah, yeah. You got to read the fine print of things.
Well, some of that is fine print.
We're gonna do our best to use the baits from our sponsors every single time. And if there's a situation that comes up where you can't, like he said, like you just can't go off promoting it, but you just don't want to totally lie about it either. So
yeah, you don't. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm not gonna jeopardize my integrity as an angler to you know
stunner, dog.
Lie about what I'm using. If that gets me fired, then by all means, like whatever. I mean, you know,
you'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Yeah.
How big of a player do you think the A-Rig would be if y'all got throw it in the BPT?
Not that big.
Time of year.
Time of year.
Time of year, and when the A-rig first come out, you could throw it in the bar ditch out there and you'd catch one. It's not the same now. It's not. I mean, and they've seen it. You could, their brain's this big. I don't want to give them more credit when I need to, but dude, they know it. Like, I don't know, somehow they've evolved to where they know that all them wires and stuff ain't right.
There's people floating around on pontoons on gutters where just
winging it,
them and catching them. Dude. It was crazy.
Back in the day, yeah, you could throw it anywhere and they just get on it. But this now, it's not the same. So, is it effective?
Now it's almost like just another lure.
It's just another bait
at this point.
Yeah. Really, what often?
Any advice for college anglers?
Yeah.
Got 2 young guys here.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, you want to go first?